All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Small Business Technical Assistance Workshop. I am going to share my screen as we come on in, get everyone situated. Feel free to join, introduce yourself in the chat. We're going to go live on Facebook in a moment. So come on in. Had a few little technical difficulties as we started up. I want to get everybody to come on in, and we will get started in a few minutes. Currently, our presenter at the moment is having a little bit of technical difficulties, so please forgive the delay as we get started. We have opened up the chat. All right, I see Gasoline already copy and paste that information. This is a networking event. So even if you have, we're online, make sure to put your information in the chat. You never know who is in the room, who may need your services. So feel free to put your information in the chat so people know who you are and what you do. This workshop is a part of the Miami-Dade Chamber's Small Business Technical Assistance Series. This year, we've been doing a series specifically around scaling your business. Last year, we did it, well, previous years, we started off with ABCs of business, where we talked about what you need to do to incorporate your business, some basic habits that you need to have in identifying your products and services. Then last year, we focused on the next level business, where we talked quite a bit about the opportunities you need, things you need in place to access capital, to put in your business habits in place, to make sure your taxes are together. And this year, in scaling your business, we want you to get a very clear picture of what you need to do in order to access capital, government contracts, to scale past that $100,000 mark. One of the very first levels of a successful business owner is to be able to have a business that can not only take care of yourself and your household, but to stay open. That next level that we want to get to is being able to have this business to where it can provide for your lifestyle. That's being able to save, to invest, and do all of those things. And as you scale, you're talking about being able to build a business that can provide for others and their household. So this is hiring and expanding. So that's what we're here for, and that's what we're talking about. So we're excited about today's. We're about to go live on Facebook. So I think, Gina, you got us moving live on Facebook, and then we're going to bring in our speaker today. And our speaker is none other than the president, founder of Credit 360, who has for many, many, many years been taking the helm and really helping out businesses in South Dade and all across Miami-Dade County and making sure they have their credit together, personal and business credit. So our topic today is how to unlock the power of business credit for you to scale and grow your business. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to our speaker today, Mr. Andre Coakley. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Matthew?
Loving life, loving life. So you have the floor, and you're going to feel free to take it from there.
Yeah, I think I'm having, if you guys gonna have to bear with me, it seems like I'm having some
You still
technical
having?
issues here.
All right,
I
no
don't
problem.
know why my screen is kind of,
All right, so we'll have Gina
yeah, I was having to try to see if I pull up.
give you a call, and we'll continue to work out those technical difficulties. So go ahead and come out and come back in, and we will get started. So while our presenter uh, works on getting that back in together and getting the technical difficulties, and Gina will work when we're doing that. I would love to hear from those that are here in the chat. So we have we have a few folks. So we have Gasoline, president and master wig artist from Threaded by Lavish, helping busy women who suffer from hair loss due to alopecia, medication, look good and feel good. We have Dion from State Farm. If you need auto insurance, home, life, business insurance, make sure you reach out. And Dion, we got a beating. So I hope that we follow up. So it's good to see you here. We have Vinna Freeman, expert in dewatering and construction, commercial construction. And this is a very important topic. A matter of fact, this past week, the chair of a director for the Miami-Dade County Small Business Enterprise, small business division for Miami-Dade County, called the emergency meeting focused on the local preference, which has been removed or is actually in the process of being removed by the state, and how that will impact construction firms. So definitely reach out for those that are in construction. We have a lot of resources and opportunities, and we will be at the forefront of making sure that people are aware of all the opportunities that are available as we go through this transition with local preference. So definitely check that out. We have Joshua Numa on the line from Miami Bayside Foundation. All right. They are a huge asset to helping people to access capital. They have training programs, um, and also loan programs that can assist you in being able to scale and grow your business. So make sure you check out Joshua's information in the chat. Anika Simmons, notary and signing services. Don't have that. It's good seeing you, Anika. And then also April, providing handmade skincare products with natural ingredients made in small batches. So we have a really good group of folk. And I think our speaker, Andre, are you ready? I'll make sure. Let's see. All right. I think our speaker still
I
having up.
believe I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I
Okay, I
think.
don't know why I'm getting a unstable reading over here on my end. If I'm choppy, I apologize, but I don't know what's kind of going on.
All right, so you can probably cut your
Can you hear
video
me?
off and share your screen, and maybe that will work out without the video. And then
Let's
while
see
he
if I can
pulls
share
up
my
his
screen.
share his screen, and we stop the video to see if that works.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can, and we can see your screen
Can you guys hear me? And you can
loud
hear
and
me,
clear,
correct?
loud and clear. So you have
All
the
right,
floor.
perfect. I apologize, guys. Good morning. I'm Andre Coakley, president of Credit 360, a local credit repair company that not only helps individuals work on their personal credit, but also assist you with getting your business credit in line. I know a lot of you guys are trying to leverage the capitalization grants or loans that might be available. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about some of the things you can do to help position yourself, and then also what can be done to help kind of streamline the process to be able to effectively get access to capital. Before we talk anything about personal credit, I mean business credit, we have to talk about personal credit. So we'll break down the whole aspect of personal credit as well. Just a little shameless plug. I'm also author of a book, An Attempt to Repair America's Broken Credit System. You can find that on Amazon if you're looking to dig deeper or delve deeper into the credit process. And this is for personal credit, not business credit. All right, so why is your business credit scores important? Your business credit scores are important because it's used by vendors, creditors, lenders, or partners to get pretty much an idea of your credit worthiness of your business. Um, as we all know, a business that has more favorable credit has a little bit more accessibility when it comes to negotiating terms of how they're getting access to this capital. Okay. What's the difference between a personal credit score and a business credit score? All right. So here we have a business credit score aspect. Here we have the personal credit score aspect. They operate similar, but they operate totally differently. I like to say, um, Business credit breathes, personal credit breathes, but they breathe in totally two different aspects. Personal credit has lungs and breathes air. Business credit has gills and breathes through water. All right. Even though they both have, respiratory systems, they operate totally different. And it's good to kind of understand that. When we're talking about business credit, there's three different that pretty much scale our business information and derive that with a risk score. A risk score is a bank, a lender, or institution trying to find out how risky is it investing into your brand. Okay. And those three pretty much, those four brands are Dun and Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, and FICO. This is on the business side. On the personal side, it's Equifax, Experian, FICO, and TransUnion. As we noticed, TransUnion is not on the business side. However, Dun and Bradstreet is on the business side. TransUnion and Dun and Bradstreet are totally two separate companies. TransUnion just does not delve into the business credit aspect. Now, we're talking about business credit. Business credit uses different factors than personal credit. The factors that we're using on business credit is payment history. All right, do you pay your bills on time? Length of credit history. How long have you been pretty much in the game? Debt and credit and debt management. How are you achieving the debt and how are you paying that down? Your industry type, which plays a very major role, which we'll discuss later, company size and age. On personal credit, the factors considered are payment history, credit utilization, length of credit history, types of credit, and then also new credit. Okay. The score range on the business credit side is 0 to 100, with, of course, the higher the number, the more sovereign the business. And then on personal credit, it goes from 300 to 850. All right. With, of course, the higher the credit score, the lower the risk. Information on the business credit report is public filings data, company information, business registration details, credit account details, industry type, government activity, and background on the business. On your personal credit, it just has 4 data points: personal information, public records, credit account details, and inquiries. All right, so when it comes to business credit, as I said, there's 3 different bureaus. Well, you can consider FICO a fourth. FICO is not really, it's considered a bureau, but it's more considered an algorithm. The 3 pretty much credit bureaus use FICO's scoring algorithm to come up with the score. So the data aggregators are Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. That means they collect the data. Once they collect that data, they actually have a relationship with FICO, where FICO runs that data through their algorithm to spit out or generate a risk score. And as I was saying, even though there are 4 bureaus, which we really consider it 3, we don't really consider FICO a bureau. It's more of an algorithm. Even though there are 3 bureaus, there are 8 different scores. So let me break this down. We have Dun & Bradstreet, which is a credit bureau, which is the most widely used credit bureau by creditors and vendors. You have a paydex score, which is the most widely used score for Dun & Bradstreet. You have a commercial credit score, and you have a financial stress score. These are 3 different scores under one bureau, and they all look at your business from a different parameter, a different aspect. All right. We have Experian, which Experian has the credit intelligence score, which is from 0 to 100. And then also Equifax has 3 different scoring models as well. They have the business payment index, they have the business credit risk score, and they have the business failure score. And again, all 3 of these scores rate your business from a different perspective. It's like a basketball player. If I was trying to rate a basketball player, there are 3 main qualities I'm going to try to rate this basketball player as. How does he dribble? How does he pass the ball? And how does he, or I could be a great passer and a great dribbler, but a horrible shooter. So that's how they're trying to look at you. They're trying to get a true perspective of how your business pretty much operates by these different scoring levels. All right, and this is how this looks like. So personal credit. This is our personal credit rate chart or score chart. 850 is the highest credit score on the personal credit, and 300 is the lowest. So there's 550 points between the highest credit score and the lowest credit score, and this is how we rank on our personal credit. With business credit, remember I was telling you there's multiple different, these are 7 of the actual different risk scores you have. We have the Dun & Bradstreet Paydex score, which I told you is from 0 to 100. This is the most widely used score. We have the Experian Intellis score. That's from 1 to 100. We have a financial stability risk rating, right? Which is just pretty much saying how risky is your business, right? That goes from 1 to 5. That's a somewhat of a subcategory, but the main category for Experian is going to be your Intellis score. And then we have Equifax, goes from your payment index score, goes from 1 to 100. But again, they have the subsidiary scores or secondary scores, which is a credit risk score, a SBSS score, which this FICO credit score is mainly used for federal grants or federal funding. The FICO credit score not only takes your business credit score, but it takes your personal credit score and merges them and comes over with an overall risk score, which not only risk layers you as an individual, but also risk layers you as a business and puts that in one score. So you can be strong in the personal side, but weak in on the business side, and that's going to affect your score, or vice versa. You can be strong on the business side or weak on the personal side, and that's still going to affect your overall score. So they use this to get a little bit better precise parameters on how the business actually operates. All right, so this is another thing we need to understand. With personal credit, I need to have what we call permissible purpose to run your personal credit score, right? And only certain institutions can run your consumer credit report. Your personal credit score or credit report is also considered a consumer credit report. And these people who can run it include banks, auto dealers, mortgage brokers, and other people licensed to lend money. They have to be licensed to get access to your credit report, okay? Another thing with business credit, your business credit profiles are public information, which means I can look at anybody's business credit profile that I wanted to. The only thing I would need to get access to would be their business name and their business address. Let me repeat that one more time. You can get access to anybody's business credit profile without having permissible purpose. The only thing you need is their business name and their business address, and you can contact one of these credit bureaus, and if you have a relationship with them, you can get access to anybody's business credit report. Now, the good thing about that is in some aspects, banks or lenders can get access to your business credit score without you having knowledge of it, and then they can send you offers based off of already having a peek into your business credit score, all right? Which there could be benefits to that, because now you might be receiving offers or multiple offers because they see that the business is sovereign or we're strong from a financial standpoint, all right? The things that they can see on your business credit profile, here's what they can see. They can see amount of trade lines, right? Which is what we might consider your payment experiences. Every time you make a payment on a business trade line, it's not considered a payment. It's considered in the world called a payment experience. The more payment experiences you have, the more sovereign the business looks. Now, business credit is a little bit different than personal credit. With personal credit, we have consumerary laws. And these consumerary laws require lenders to report in a timely fashion, which is every 30 days. With business credit, unfortunately, it's like the Wild Wild West. There's no consumerary laws. There's nobody policing business credit. So business credit creditors can report at their leisure. So that means you might get an account with a vendor. They might report every other month. They might report every quarterly, or they might report every month. It's at their leisure. Or they might report every month, skip a month, and then report again. Again, that's at their leisure. They're able to do that for the simple fact that there's nobody policing business credit. There's no consumerary laws. And because of that, the system is a little bit jaded. We can be taken advantage of and not necessarily have anybody to help us, assist us to get through these hurdles. All right. Now, there's another aspect of business credit that we consider what we call a personal guarantee. So let's say I'm going to get capital or funding for my business. I go into a bank and I'm saying, hey, I'm Credit 360, We're a local credit repair company. We want to get access to capital. One of the first things that bank is going to do, they're going to take a look at the business credit profile, but they're also going to look at my personal credit profile. The reason why they're looking at my personal credit profile is because the bank wants me to personally guarantee that loan. Personally guaranteeing means Credit 360 is a business entity.
All right, I think we lost you. Are you still on? All right, can everyone hear me? If you can, please put that into the chat.
Yes, we can.
All right, so looks like we're having audio issues with our presenter. All right, let's see if we can get him on a call on the phone. Let's work around this. Give me just one more moment. All right, so these technical difficulties today are moving forward, and there's been some really good information so far in breaking down we got it on. All right, so we got on the phone. Hopefully that's better. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Excellent, excellent. Let's see if we can pull up your PowerPoint on our end to continue the conversation. If you haven't already done so, feel free to send that, or Gina, if you want to pull that up for us. And while you do it, while we get that on the back end, just go ahead and continue the conversation because it's been really good content. So far, we got a lot of people in the chat. Really excited about the information you shared so far. So feel free to continue to go into detail, and we'll try and pull up your information on our end. Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can get this over to you guys as well. All right, perfect. All right, so as I was saying, is the business credit side is considered the Wild Wild West. There's no one policing that. Unfortunately, because there is no policing of that, it allows banks or lenders to report at their leisure. Now, that reporting at their leisure, unfortunately, can leave gaps in your profile. So it's very important if you're a business owner to sit down and actually review your business credit profile. A lot of business owners, a lot of times you're going in to get access to capital, really basing it off of our personal credit profiles. And that's the reason why we're denied a lot of times. And that denial is coming because the business credit profile, number one, is not functional. It's not put in place. Or number two, it's not functional, it's not put in place. Or number two, the personal credit is not in line. And you can have good business credit, but weak personal credit and be denied, or vice versa. You can have strong personal credit, but weak business credit and still be denied. And a lot of times, a lot of business owners say, well, why would they want to look at my personal credit if I'm getting access to a business loan? The business loan that you're getting access to, unfortunately, sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Email this. The business loan that you're getting access to, unfortunately, it's the individual who's behind that loan. So the example I like to give, if you're taking a flight from Miami to New York, do you want that flight to pass FAA flight inspection? You most definitely do. However, what about the pilot who is actually navigating that flight? Do you want them to pass an inspection? Because think about that. Let's say you have a perfectly healthy airplane, but you have a totally disgruntled pilot flying that airplane. It's going to be a tragedy. And that's the same thing that they're looking for from a business standpoint. They want to make sure that how you handle yourself in your personal life is going to be is going to transpire to your business life. All right. And they have the same, they really want the captain to go down with the ship. That's the reason why they want you to personally guarantee your credit. They want you to personally guarantee, because what happens is if you're not personally tied to that business, then that business goes defunct. It's very easy for you to actually jump ship and start another business. However, that bank or lender got stuck holding the bag that you created. So it's going to be very important to kind of understand that. Now, there's a few things you can do to make sure that you actually have good business credentials when you're going through the actual process of applying for business credit. The first thing you need to make sure is the entity of your business. If you are a sole proprietor or doing business in your personal name, all right, I'm going to probably advise you probably want to rethink that. And number one, if you're doing that, it's probably going to be difficult for you to get any of these grants or loans that's available, because you normally have to be a business entity. So sole proprietor is probably one of the worst designations you can hold when it comes to getting access to credit, but it also can be a tax liability issue as well. So we caution you guys with that. So make sure that your business entity is an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp. That will help you with getting access to actually funding. Now, I know a lot of us on this Zoom call are small businesses, and this one is a little bit sketchy, but you have to kind of understand. Unfortunately, home-based businesses don't get as much credibility as they should because they're a home-based business, and unfortunately, home-based businesses fall in a more riskier category than a brick-and-mortar business. Now, because I'm saying that, I'm not telling you to go out and get a brick-and-mortar business just to acquire a loan. Let me repeat that one more time. Just because I've said that, I'm not telling you to go get a brick and mortar just so you can acquire a loan. However, having a commercial address, having a commercial location attached to your address plays a very big role, because behind the scenes, a lot of these banks, lenders, and creditors, what they're doing is they're actually looking at the business address to try to determine if you are a viable business or not, right? And it makes sense, because we know that because we know for the simple fact that once they're looking at this information, they're trying to do it to try to determine if they're going to put thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars into your pocket. So make sure that your address, and you might be able to use a virtual address instead of a residential address. So in levels of having addresses, the best possible level is a brick and mortar if your business fits that model. I keep saying if your business fits that model, because we don't want anybody to get exorbitant debt or exorbitant bills just to try to acquire a loan. I don't want that. The second level of it is to have a virtual office. Now, you have places that have virtual offices where you can get an office space that's in a commercial location. You might use this space monthly, daily, however, because your business has a commercial location, it will allow you guys to pretty much be able to get access to business credit because they're reading it as a commercial location. All right. And then I'm not going to say the worst way possible, or I'm going to say the least favorable way possible, is having a home-based business. All right. So keep that in mind. Another thing, the email address to your business plays a role. I normally suggest having a domain name. Having your business email address being hotgirl36@gmail.com is not very businesslike. And trust me, they're looking at these type of aspects of your business. I have also, while I'm at it, your reviews and testimonies. I had a bank that was reviewing one of my clients' loans. The client was actually trying to get access to capital. However, this bank or lender went to their Google reviews, and for some reason, this client had the last 5 reviews were unfavorable. And guess what? They got denied a loan, not for credibility. They got denied a loan because they didn't think they had a sovereign business model. And keep in mind, your business model is just as important as the ability to repay. So that's another factor. Another factor when it comes to business credit is also how long you. So a lot of banks, they don't use the date of incorporation as the date that the business was open. They use the date that the bank account was open as the date of incorporation. The reason why they do that, because a lot of times we will open up a corporation and we're too busy trying to figure out what we want to do. 3 or 4 years, the business has been open, but until it has a bank account, it's not considered to be in business. All right. So you also want to make sure that as soon as your business is activated, you want to open up that bank account. And then a lot of us don't know, we also have a bank rating. A bank rating is they take a look at what our average balances are on the account on a monthly basis. And the higher your balance, the higher the bank rating. All right. So unfortunately, using a cell phone for your business when it comes to getting access to lending and capital. Now we're in the digital age. Trust me, I get it, y'all. However, we're talking about banks and lenders trying to see how secure a brand is. If you're running your brand off of a cell phone, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I suggest you have is a virtual phone number that's in between the customer virtual number, and then you have your landline. Then you have your mobile number. A virtual number is an intermediary number that you can put out there in the public that is still not your personal cell phone number. And the reason why you want to have a virtual number is because now it actually reads this number tied to a landline. Believe it or not, behind the scenes, they're seeing is the number that you provided for the business, is it a landline or is this a mobile device? If it's a mobile device, I'm not saying they would deny you, but it's considered almost a red flag versus a check mark saying, okay, we feel it's okay. Now, red flags don't mean you're denied. Red flags means it's questionable. All right. So we want to try to do everything that we can to try to avoid our brands from being questionable. And another thing is, I'm going to kind of circle back around to personal credit. Personal credit is going to be probably one of the biggest factors to a brand new startup business, because if you're a startup and you don't have a lot of business credit history, they're going to default to your personal history. So do what you can to try to get the personal credit in line while you get the business. And don't get me wrong, I get it. It's probably going to be difficult to build business credit for a brand new business when you have rough personal credit. But just got to keep it real. It is what it is, right? This is the business of risk, and banks don't want to loan. A bank is not going to loan you money for your idea. They're going to loan you money for a proven business model. Ideas don't get funding in today's time, right? That's like me saying, "Hey, let me borrow some." An investor is not going to give you their money to invest. They're going to give their money to a model. It's like me saying, hey, let me borrow $10,000 so I can invest it in crypto and I'll pay your money back. That's too risky. You probably wouldn't give me that money. So that's the same thing when an investor sees a brand new brand trying to ask for $20,000, $50,000, $60,000 and they don't have a proven business model. All right. And I think I'm tight on time. I'm not too sure. But I just want to make sure there are any questions in the chat. If there's any questions, please drop them in the chat.
All
Okay,
right.
so I see April has a question, I believe. It says, of course, the virtual address you want, you should use our home-based business works for me as overhead costs and office space. Great, exactly. So virtual office can kind of suit dual purposes. It also does look professional depending on your business versus meeting someone, at a Starbucks versus meeting them at your virtual office. Now, there's nothing wrong with meeting somebody at a Starbucks. What we're talking about is how to secure and how to strengthen your profile for funding. All right.
Excellent, excellent.
And
So feel free if you have any questions to put it in the chat or raise your hand. We can bring you on to ask a question. Feel free to put it into the chat. Basically, what Andre has been really hitting home is the importance of having a very legitimate business that if you're accessing capital, the number one thing that a bank or lender wants to know is whether or not you can pay them back. And they're going to go, as the banks are very conservative. And I see a question coming in, so we're going to go take it, but they're going to be very conservative. They want to make sure that this is a very established business. So like he said, in terms of storefront to virtual office to home base, the levels and looking like that, and then also the actual business number. These are the basics to whether or not you have a legitimate business space. So it's good to see that. So we have a question, Andre, from Ms. Young, Diane, for startup, what personal credit score is acceptable for obtaining business credit?
Now, when it comes to business credit, great question. The acceptable credit score, I'm going to tell you, you should be aiming for an 850 credit score at all times, right? However, the acceptable credit score, I'm going to say, is really going to be possibly a 680 credit score.
At 680, 680 is considered a B credit score, a B minus. It's enough to get you in the game. It's not going to give you the best interest rate, but it's a high enough score for them not to most likely deny you. Now, keep in mind, your credit score is how good you look. Your credit report is how healthy you are. Totally two different things. You can have an 800 credit score applying for a loan that only requires a 680 credit score. Even though you have a 700 credit score, you can still be denied for that loan for the simple fact you met the score criteria. You didn't meet the report criteria. The way this works is, let's say that person with a 700 credit score, even though the program required a 680 credit score, had a repossession on their credit report from 2 years ago. Even though they have the score, the report or the repossession on the report could be the disqualifying factor on them getting access to the credit because they had that repossession, even though the score was there. There's non-negotiables in every relationship, right? I was speaking to a young lady the other day. She was telling me that she met the world's most perfect guy. So I was trying to be funny. I was like, okay, so when should I get my tuxedo for the wedding? She said, Andre, even though this is the most perfect guy for me, I'll never marry this guy on a day of my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I was a little bit thrown back. I'm like, well, how is something perfect for you, but you wouldn't solidify it? She says, well, you've known me for years, Andre. I'm 45 years old. I have no kids. This guy, he's an amazing man. He treats me great. I love the way he treats me. However, he has 4 kids. And I have no intentions on being a mother. And even though I love him, my lifestyle doesn't allow me to want to be a mother to kids. And as selfish as that may seem in some capacities, there's nothing wrong with that. She has her non-negotiables, and banks have non-negotiables. You could be 99% perfect, but they could deny you for the 1%. They don't have to take you for the 99%. Same thing with love, same thing with emotions. Banks are the same way. No bank wants to invest in something and not get a rate of return. The same way you would not want to love into something and not get the rate of return you deserve. All right. And then she also asked another question: how many years does a bankruptcy have to be discharged? Now that's going to vary by the bank or lender. But most banks or lenders require what we call a seasoning. Most require a 3 to 4 year seasoning process after a bankruptcy to be discharged in order for them to not take it into the consideration of you applying for the loan. All right. So they will give you that little leeway. However, just because you had a bankruptcy and that has been discharged within the last 3 or 4 years, I'm not going to tell you don't apply for the loan. I'm going to tell you get the parameters for the loan before you apply, because some banks will say, hey, we don't care about the bankruptcy if it's been discharged. Some will say, hey, you know what? It could be dismissed but not discharged. Totally two different things. So you have to make sure that you fit into their criteria. All right. I think we have another question. It says, how old does late payments are to be considered determined suitable? Now, late payments stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. However, late payments affect your credit report. A 30-day late payment would affect your credit score up to a year and 4 months. That's how long a 130-day late payment would at least drag your credit score for a year and 4 months. The reason why it's done like that is because the credit scoring system is giving you time to recover and heal. And the more time that elapsed since the late payment, the more you have healed. That's like if I broke my leg 3 weeks ago versus I broke my leg 3 years ago. Don't get me wrong. If I broke it three weeks ago, I'm probably hobbling. I have discomfort. I can barely walk. But if I broke it 3 years ago, I still might not be 100%, but I still have most of my mobility back over that period. All right. So the whole idea is to, number one, not get late payments, not get charge-offs, not get collections. And just so you know, the credit scoring system is very unforgiving. It does not give you credibility for paying something off after it's taken place. For example, let's say I get a late payment, I get a collection charge-off, then I actually go back to the lender and I pay it after the fact. The credit scoring system doesn't actually negate or remove the late payment after I pay it off. The system is more concerned, does Andre have behaviors to destroy his credit, not does he have his behaviors to repair his credit, right? So, for example, that's like I cheated on my last 3 girlfriends, and I get ready to marry my new fiance. And she says, you know what, Andre, I've heard, the girls saying you cheated on your last 3 girlfriends. I'm like, you know what, babe, I did cheat on those girls. I've learned my lesson. However, I sat down with all 3 of them. I had a long conversation. I asked for forgiveness, and all 3 of them forgave me, and we're friends now. My fiance does not care that those women have forgave me for cheating. She cares that I had the behavior to cheat in the first place. And once you're labeled something, you'll be that for the rest of your life. So we're talking about relationships, but we're really talking about credit. Once you're a cheater, you're always a cheater. For example, I cheat on my wife. I buy her a brand new car, buy her a brand new purse, buy her a brand new box of chocolates, brand new roses. I'm still a cheater. Time helps heal the wound, but even time will never make me not a cheater. And I don't know about the women you know, but the women I know, I could be 20 years later, she's going to remind me that I cheated on her. She might not bring it up every day, but she's still going to remind me, hey, remember that time when you broke me down to my core? It's an unforgettable moment. Same thing happens from a credit standpoint. Same thing happens, all right? So Tawana has a question. What about high score but utilization high? Utilization high is also a factor for them to possibly deny you credit. Now, utilization is one of those things that can be maneuvered around depending on how your credit, if you have a high credit score, what I would suggest if you have high utilization, what you can possibly do, and again, I'm not trying to tell everybody to run this play, but this is a possible play. Everybody has a different credit DNA, and what might be applicable to one person might not be applicable to another. All right, so high utilization, the way you would handle that is if you have good credit scores, what you could possibly do is open up another high limit credit card and transfer the balance from one of those high utilization credit cards to this new zero balance or zero interest rate balance transfer card, which will allow you to split your utilization. So let's say hypothetically, I had one credit card with a $10,000 limit, and that credit card is maxed out. So that means I have $10,000 worth of credit and I have $10,000 balance. That credit card is 100% utilized. Let's say I call Capital One and I open up another $10,000 credit card. What they're going to do is they're going to take that $10,000 that I had in debt, and they're going to take the total amount of credit that I have now, which is $20,000, because I had $10,000 with the original creditor, and I have $10,000 with the balance transfer creditor, and I have $20,000 worth of total available credit with only $10,000 worth of utilization. So now that I opened up that new credit card, it knocked my utilization down to 50%, because now I have $20,000 worth of total available credit with only $10,000 worth of usage. All right. So that's a way you can actually assist with high utilization. Another technique with high utilization is, let's say you have a friend, family member, confidant, loved one, colleague, someone who you trust from a credit standpoint, who has a high limit credit card with a low balance on that. So let's say hypothetically, Tawana, you had that $10,000 credit card with a high limit, it's maxed out, and I had a $10,000 credit card with no balance on it. What I can do is I can add you as an authorized user to my credit card. When I do that, now my $10,000 zero balance credit card is going to report on your credit report, and now it just freed up utilization on your report for the simple fact that now it's showing that you have $20,000 worth of credit, because you got my $10,000 credit card with a zero balance. You have your $10,000 credit card that's maxed out, which is still $20,000 worth of total available credit with only $10,000 worth of utilization. Now you've knocked your utilization down to 50%. So those are just some of the techniques you can do to actually try to get your utilization in line. But yes, banks are going to be because utilization means your boat is already heavy. It's already sinking. So a bank or lender is going to be hesitant to put anything valuable on a boat that they see is already sinking. So why would they put their valuable loan on that boat that looks like it's already sluggish? It looks like it's already destined to hit the bottom of the ocean. So utilization can be a denying factor, even though you have immaculate credit. Okay. Excellent. And I have clients who have high utilization and have scores in the D and F category, even though they never missed a payment on their credit report. They have no late payments, but they have high utilization. That high utilization is stagnant enough to keep their credit report in the C and D category. So it's very important to get that utilization in line.
Excellent. Excellent. I love how you've answered the question directly, breaking it down and giving those examples that all of us can relate to. So much respect, Andre. Any other last questions or comments while Andre, I would love for you to share how people can get in touch with you and your services and what you do for business owners and people.
Yes, I provide free credit consultations for anybody on this phone call, whether it's personal or business, and I advise you to take advantage of it. A lot of times we don't like to financially undress in front of people. However, financially undressing is very important. Not to get off topic, I am a male who's turning 50 years old, right? Right. And you know what that means? That means I have to get my prostate exam, which means I have to get naked in front of another man. Hella uncomfortable moment, right? I would hate for a 5-minute uncomfortable moment to take 50 years, 30 years, 20 years off of my life. What I'm trying to say is sometimes we have to be uncomfortable for growth. However, during these consultations, what we're going to do is we're going to go through your credit profile in detail. I'm going to let you know all the positive things we see, all the negative things we see. I'm going to let you know what we can do as a company to help you get back on track, but also let you know what you can do yourself if you don't move forward with our services. Now, keep in mind, I don't have a problem doing a free consultation for anybody. I don't have a problem telling you how to get somewhere, but if you're asking me how to take you somewhere, now I got to charge you gas money. But I have a problem giving you directions how to get somewhere. So if you ever have a credit question, I advise you guys to reach out to me. I'll drop my information in the chat. For those of you who would like it now, you can reach me at 305 is my phone number, 235-4848, 305-235-4848. Or if you guys would like to email, you can email me at Andre, ANDRE, at credit360.biz. That's ANDRE at credit360.biz, or feel free to reach us on the web at www.credit360.com. I normally like to close these things with, I love you guys. And I know it's very unprofessional to tell someone who you don't know you love them, but I got a passion for helping individuals such as yourself get through this process. And I want you to get through this process regardless. I want everybody on here to be a grant awardee or acquire some type of loan or lending that's going to be useful or beneficial for your business. And if I can help you any guys in any way, please feel free to reach out. I'm here at your disposal any way possible.
Thank you very much, Andre. Really appreciate your support in this and really helping businesses. He's been a critical component in helping many of our clients and technical assistants and members to access capital, which is extremely important for going after government contracts, grants and loans, and all those things. So what you heard here today is one piece of the puzzle. And I know that you have a lot going on in your businesses, and many times credit is just another thing on top of the mountain of things you have to do. You have help with the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. We have a technical assistance program where we work one-on-one with business owners to take the information that you're learning from these workshops and then apply it to your business where you need it most at this moment. Currently, we're helping a lot of businesses with getting their back office together. We work on marketing plan, licenses, and certifications, making sure you have your financial infrastructure together and business habits. But one of our major focuses is really helping you generate revenue. At the end of the day, the most important factor to accessing capital, getting government contracts, is showing that you have a business that knows how to make money and make a profit. So we want to get clear about the basics, detailing what are your unique products and services. Who are your ideal clients, and making sure you have a marketing plan to put your products and services in front of those clients, can close the sale and deliver the service with excellence, or the product with excellence, so you can get those referrals and testimonials. Our one-on-one technical assistance program is supplemented by our technical assistance workshop, which you've been a part of today. And we have many events. So it's not just TA workshops. we have one of the probably most powerful event that we've done, and we've been doing this ever since the pandemic, is our small business meetup, where every Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we are on the call with between 40 to 70 business owners. We have speakers come in. We have discussion topics like how do you deal with a disgruntled employee to how do you pay yourself, so that real business owners can share, hear from others, and learn and grow. So I encourage you to scan a QR code, sign up if you haven't already to our small business meetup so that you can be always up to date with the latest of what we have going on. One of the most pressing opportunities that we have at the moment is by the Miami Foundation. They have up to $20,000 grant, $100,000 loan program with 3% interest rate, the lowest you will find on the market, period. And also a $500,000 down payment assistance program for small businesses that want to collectively own real estate in Miami-Dade County. We are literally helping business owners to complete those applications. We have an application party next Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will have the decision makers, the people who support and run the program at this application party. They're there to review your application. Make sure that you're putting together something that can actually win. Those who attend this ready with their application to review will get the most benefit from this. But I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you, if you are available or you can make yourself available Wednesday, April 3rd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at North Dade Regional Library to join us, learn about these programs, because it's a grant, it's a loan, and a down payment assistance. And you'll get the insider tips on how to submit a strong application, which you can then use to access other opportunities. All of what I just talked to you are completely open, free, no cost to businesses that are registered on SunBiz with a Miami-Dade County address. This is part of our technical assistance program, which is funded by the county, Miami Foundation, CareerSource, and many others to ensure we have a strong small business community and also infrastructure here in Miami-Dade County. But we are also a chamber. And as chambers, we do what you just saw here. We make sure that we connect our members with opportunities. Andre Coakley of 360, Credit 360 is one of our members. So we want to make sure we give them a platform, an opportunity to speak to you, to help out. We have many different member connections. And next week, we will have our general membership meeting at Expo, where many of our members will be out there. Many of our partners will be vending so that you can learn. This is a continuation of our conversation we started off when we kicked off our 50 years in existence as the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. And this general membership meeting is really talking about where we have been, where we're at today, and where we plan on in the future. This is a major event that we have, but our first major annual event is our annual symposium and business leaders luncheon, which will be focusing on housing and the future of housing development in South Florida with the focus on building Black wealth. It is an amazing event. All the who's who in developing and housing will be there. So I strongly encourage you to take full advantage of it. And lastly, like I said, we are here to assist you. So you can reach out to myself, Matthew Paya, Director of Small Business and Membership Services, and Gina Ortella, who's handling the back end. Gina, you want to come on and say hi? And you can reach out to us and we will work with you one-on-one to get your business together and implement these things. So definitely check us out and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much. If you're not a member of Chamber, visit our website or set a meeting up with me to do so, and you can take full advantage of our resources. This video will be on our Facebook page, and also the recording will be found on our YouTube channel. So we look forward to having you. And thank you, Andre, for taking the time to join us today and really just drop so many jewels that our business owners need. Thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Take care, everyone.